Hey everybody, it's Sherry with Cards and More by Sherry. I'm bringing you a mixed media project today. Working with a 5x7 gallery wrapped canvas, and I did put a coat of gesso on this. Probably didn't have to, but I'm kind of new to working on canvas, so I wanted to make sure it would do what I wanted it to do. I'm also working with a gorgeous Rooster napkin here that I have cut out, and I'm going to be adding some Finnebear metal pieces to it as well. But I'm going to start with some Lindy's Magicals. These are from the Jingle Bells set. I'm using Rudolph's Nose Red and Golden Sleigh Bells, and I'm just using a paintbrush to dab some of this on the canvas. I'm trying to go gold on the top and red on the bottom, and then I'm just going to spray with water and continue working with this so it will move around the canvas and give me some more coverage. The gold one, well, all of the Magicals products, if you're not familiar with them, most of them, unless they're called flats, have marvelous, marvelous shimmer to them. So I'm getting this on there. I'm thinking that red on the bottom is a little too pink. So after I get the canvas dried, I'm going to come back in with some gelatos. I've got the red cherry gelato and the gold champagne gelato. And I'm going to try to intensify this color on here. And I'm just using a baby wipe to move the color around. I'm still thinking it's too pink, and I never get it quite as red as I want it to be. But I decided just to go with it because it does show off the napkin pretty nicely and pick up some of the red in the top knot on the rooster, whatever you call a top knot on a rooster. I don't know. I'm also applying the color to the edges just to give it a little bit more finished look. Just trying to keep with the gold on the top and the red on the bottom. So I'm pretty happy with that. The rooster looks like he's going to stand out pretty good from that, but I'm thinking I need something that looks like more texture. So I take this really, really cruddy stencil that I have that's wood grain and try to pull some of that color off through there with a baby wipe, which works. I end up not liking it a whole lot though, but that's all right. We're going to just roll with it. And then I'm going to take a stencil, which is the small bubble stencil. This is one of my favorite stencils because it's just so darn versatile. You can use it in anything. And I'm taking some Color Bloom spray in gold foil. Make sure you shake those babies up because they're loaded with beautiful shimmer. You saw me try to put it on the side, and I thought, no, that's just an accident waiting to happen. So I just did it on the top and the bottom and sprayed through there. Then I'm going to take that stencil because I don't want to lose that beautiful, beautiful color and go into one of my little art books and pat that off there so I can use that beautiful color off that stencil for something another day. Then again, I'm going to take the heat gun to this and dry it so that this color sprays don't go anywhere. Next, on my next step, just in case they might happen to move. Plus, the gelatos underneath are water soluble, so I don't want those to move either. So I'm pretty happy with what I've got going on in the background. So I'm going to apply my napkin with matte gel medium. Be very careful when you work with napkins. I was very careful working with the napkin, but you'll see as I start going over the top of this that I trashed some of his beautiful tail feathers as I was going back over the top with a coat. I went back. It wasn't that I was doing it too vigorously. It's that I did it too many times, and you'll see it here in just a second, right there. And it just kind of dissolved and moved the napkin, and I try to fudge with it and put it back in place. He turned out looking pretty good. There's nothing I could do about it, so I just had to roll with it like everything else. So covering him completely with some matte gel medium so that will be sealed, and anything else that I want to go do over the top of that will not harm the napkin. Give that a good dry, as always, and I'm still messing around with that metal element. I know I want to use that so that it looks like kind of like a piece of fence with some flowers or something. I just haven't quite figured out what I'm doing. Here I am taking my Pitt Artist Pen Big Brush. This is the Nougat color, Nougat Nugget, however you prefer. Basically, folks, it's brown. And I'm going around the edge of my napkin. Now, these are permanent India ink pens, but since I'm working on a surface that has gel medium on it, I can move it just a little tiny bit. So that's what you see me doing. I draw just a little bit, smudge it just a little bit, so that it's not quite as much of a definite line, but has more of a shadowing effect a little bit. Or at least that's what I was thinking in my mind. That's what I was going for. But it sets off the piece very nicely. Here I'm going to take my Wink of Stella pen. I've decided now that I want to add some bling to my rooster, because don't we all need a blinged out rooster? I say yes. So I'm just adding a little bit of shimmer to him with this gold Wink of Stella pen, which if you've never used them, the shimmer is just unbelievable out of these pens. Just adding a little bit here and there on his feathers and things, and then I decided to hit the centers of the daisies that are part of the napkin. Here I am taking gold crackle paste. This is Finnabair Art Extravagance by Prima texture paste. This is a gorgeous color when it dries, and I've just decided that I'm going to go around the edge of my canvas, and it's kind of like icing a cake, just not real neat, thick and thin. In hindsight, I wish I'd put it on a little bit thicker, because the thicker that you put it on, the more it cracks. Now it's going to take a whole lot longer to dry, but you get bigger cracks on it. But you'll see in the detail pictures at the end. Now, I probably should have waited till the end to do this, but I knew I wasn't going to do anything else to the front of the canvas that required water or movement or anything. I was just going to be attaching stuff. So that's why I went ahead and did this at this point, so it could go ahead and start drying while it was finishing up. All right, so here I have some paper flowers. These are just the Recollections brand that you get at Michael's, I think. I had already colored a couple of these for another project and decided I wanted to use those. And for some reason, our eye prefers to see things in uneven numbers. So I pulled out another one of the white flowers and went ahead and colored it using, I'm using two of the Color Bloom sprays. One is called Sorbet and one is called Gold Foil. And then I'm also using a Lindy's Starburst spray that's called Cockabell's Coral. And it just gives these roses such a pretty, if you know what a peace rose looks like, it kind of has that look with the pink to peach to yellow. And then you get the shimmer of the sprays added in there for a bonus, and it's a good bonus. So I'm going to dry these up a little bit, because I added a few touches of yellow to one that I didn't think was quite bright enough. Going back, looking at that metal paste, figuring out what I'm going to do. Cutting the stems off of those flowers, and then I'm going to take this little doodad I've got here in my hand. Is actually a paper bead roller. There is a little channel in the metal part where you can put your strips of paper in it if you're making beads, or in this case I'm taking those flower stems and hooking it in there and rolling it around to make kind of tendrils or vines that are kind of going to go with my flowers. I want these flowers to look like they're growing up out of this metal that sort of reminds me of a trellis or a wrought iron fence. So that's what I'm going for. And to attach them, I'm going to use 3D gloss gel. This is another Finnabair Art Basics by Prima product. And this is a really thick gloss gel. And it's wonderful for attaching dimensional things or heavier pieces. And you want to make sure that they stay put. This stuff is really, really nice. So I'm just putting a sort of generous coat on the back of my metal element piece. And I will, in the links below, I will add links to all these products and also a link to my blog post where all the information will be as well. Again, this project is part of my design team work for the Kraaft Shaak, and so many of these products that I'm using today can be purchased at the Kraaft Shaak, and you'll love getting items from there, because it's like Christmas. Everything is wrapped in pretty papers with ribbon and pretty washi tape, and it's so much fun to get a package from Heather at the Kraaft Shaak, because it truly is like, hey, it's my birthday or it's Christmas, look at all these goodies that I got wrapped up. So anyway, I'm attaching the flowers now, and I'm going to also attach the little tendrils that I made with the stems that I cut off of those flowers. everything again just being attached with that 3D gloss gel, which is going to hold them in place beautifully. It is good stuff. And you notice that I've got these things in these little tiny containers. You can buy samples of many of these things from the Kraaft Shaak, the crackle paste, the gel mediums, some of the chalk paints and different things. If you're not sure, I don't know if I want to invest in a whole big thing of this. She's got samples of a lot of things, which is a great way to try products out. So check that out when you look at her shop. So getting those all attached, cleaning up some over gloppiness that I did. Then, you know how sometimes, I don't know if you guys with mixed media, I never know when I'm done. And sometimes I should err on the side of being done before I think I am. But no, I decide to take this glass bead gel. And it's beautiful when it dries, and it looks like when you put it on the fabric flowers and things, it looks like dewdrops, and it's really pretty. And had I just done that, I would have been happier with this. But no, as you can see, I just couldn't just put it on those flowers. I had to put it on the centers on the daisies on the napkin, which is okay after it dried. I was just a little heavy-handed in places, and so I'm not necessarily 100% tickled with that, but hey, live and learn. But it's really pretty on these little roses where I added it, and you'll see that again at the close-up pictures at the end. And when it dries, the medium that the glass beads are in dries clear, just like your gel medium and stuff like that. And then you have these beautiful clear glass beads embedded in it, and it leaves such a pretty effect. And I debated whether I wanted to put some up on the top opposite corner of the top of the rooster so that it maybe looked like it was dew was coming down off of there, but I decided that didn't make a whole lot of sense, so I didn't. So that's about all I did here, shy of drying, and you can see all the pictures here at the end. I'm real pleased with how this came out. I hope that you'll check out my blog as well to see some additional details and take a look at these pictures closer. Again, this is part of my design team projects for the Kraaft Shaak, and I hope you'll check that out too. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a really crafty day. Bye-bye.